Lopatcong Township Council. Everybody there? Our motion to come out of executive session?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Moment of silence. Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Oh, I have to read the notice first. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bill Farrow.
Here.
Councilwoman McKay.
Here.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Here.
Council President Shugler.
Here.
Mayor.
Here. All right, I'd like to open up, oh, you have to do the,
Yes, we're in executive session for approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. Topics of discussion were personnel interviews for CFO position, potential litigation, request for reimbursement of medical expenses, contract banks, litigation, in-house settlement, and attorney-client privilege, Paul versus Lopatcong GRC decision. Meeting minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
okay. Now we go to roll call.
Yeah, now I got it.
How are you doing?
I interrupted.
You get me all confused here. Public agenda, public comment, agenda items only. Make a motion to open.
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's open. Any public comments on agenda items from anyone out there? Yes, please come up and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good evening. My name is Yvette Day. I live at 32 Meadowview Drive. I'm just calling to ask a couple questions and to get some clarification before you guys pass the second reading of the ordinance to release the Lopatcong Athletic Association from the being an entity under the umbrella of the town. I first want to clarify that this is not a bad idea. I am fully aware of all the benefits. We've been a part of this for a long time. Where my concerns come in is that there is not the proper due diligence as far as the establishing of the proper paperwork that needs to be done so that there is a seamless transition between leaving the town and having a new entity formed. So as the concern came, and the concern comes from what is the transition plan? There is no new entity to roll things over. So in the meantime, how are bills and invoices going to be paid while the new entity is formed and that bank account will be established, opened? You know, that can take up to 2 weeks to a month. So if you guys can please then state for us how that transition plan is going to happen so that we know that all of our invoices will be paid in a timely manner, that would be great. My second and last big concern is insurance. We sent out a question yesterday with regard to insurance coverage. Once it's my understanding that once the LAA leaves the town, the general liability insurance is not covered. It drops. There is no new entity to have picked that up. So for the winter sports that are in full progress, how is that going to be covered? We were told that there will be no gap in policy. So if you could then describe, let us know how there's going to be no gap of general liability insurance. That will be very helpful, because then that is going to need to be provided to the school. If this is adopted tonight, it needs to be provided to the school tomorrow so that there is no so that there's no interruption in the winter sports. So if you could then be able to let us know how that's going to work and how that insurance was even gotten and how there is no gap, because I don't understand how there won't be a gap. Again, just asking that the proper due diligence be done before the second reading is voted on and adopted, so that our winter sports can go uninterrupted and that this new entity can be formulated. Okay? Thank you.
I don't know any of those answers because they haven't been provided to me, but perhaps Lori does.
We'll go over it when we're in public hearing, but basically the ordinance is just saying that when they go, we will recognize them. This ordinance, the passing today, is not the release of you. The LAA still has work to do. Those decisions can be made over there. This is saying when they go, we will recognize them.
Katrina?
Yeah, we'll talk about it during public hearing.
We'll talk about, yeah, because, okay.
That's not how I read. Okay, we'll talk about a public hearing. Thank you for bringing up the point. Do we have any other public comment, sir?
I'm not sure if this is the right time. Joe Bauman with the Opus Group.
Yeah.
I see we have on the agenda the redevelopment plan, so I just wanted to, if you have a few minutes, I'll give you an update on where we are with the project. That'd be helpful. So in Phillipsburg, we've completed our redevelopment plan and our site plan application. We've been to the planning board, and we got our general development permit. We've also signed our redevelopment agreement. We paid a number of extension payments to buy their property. And we're now, they've introduced an ordinance for a financial agreement. So by the end of December 31st, all the official action required in Phillipsburg will have been undertaken. You have, I see on your agenda for consideration, the redevelopment plan, which is the first step. And there's a number of steps that come after that will take several months. So we're hoping you will consider that plan and hopefully introduce it tonight. There'll still be another meeting for a public hearing.
I haven't seen any backup to it. All I've seen is a two-page plan. I've not seen a financial plan.
Yeah, the financial plan is the second step. The first step is the zoning, which is the development plan that we've been working on with your professionals for some time, and which is what's on for discussion tonight. The financial plan, there'll be a ton of backup and an application, which we haven't provided yet because you haven't done the plan yet. So you need a redevelopment plan.
You provided something. It was like a woefully inadequate, not filled out one that went to the bond council, which I got from the bond council.
That's a financial application, right? That we're not asking you to consider that tonight.
But if we get involved any further, then you're going to want us to consider that. And there were some aspects to that which I am not certain about. One is that you, I think, want the township to be also involved in the debt that's going to be incurred to develop this project.
No, the town would not be obligated for any of that. We would look for redevelopment bonds, correct?
You want us to be party to the bonds. And you also have not told us how much we would receive in lieu of taxes on this. Now, at one point, I was told something like $800,000 a year, but I haven't heard anything since.
We're proposing the exact same identical arrangement that we negotiated with Phillipsburg, which is.
Well, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and again, that's the step 2. We can't get past that because we don't even have a redevelopment plan in place.
When we get that number on the agenda, I can go over the various steps.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
we'll do that.
yeah. Look, I'm just here asking you to respectfully consider it, move it forward, let you know where we are in Phillipsburg. Our current plan is to acquire the land in the first quarter of next year. Worst comes to worst, we'll just have to have our road through the empty vacant property will be our fallback position, which wouldn't be a great solution, but that's still within our knowledge. So, but we're hopeful that we can work all this out.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Are there any other, Eric?
Hello, 2 quick questions on the, I just got the new one here. On the new business, number 4, for the ordinance for the Recreation Committee. I'm on the Recreation Committee. I know we didn't talk about it, and not that we have to on the committee level, but before this ordinance is discussed in public, I would like it to be read in full so that we could all hear it. And regarding old business number 3 with the second reading of the LAA, a nonprofit, I would also like that to be read in full for the public to hear before we actually have a discussion on it. So we can, maybe the discussions will actually move along a little bit better if we can get an understanding of what this ordinance is.
Okay.
And if there is a way for us to see it ahead of time before the meeting, let me know that as well too, because right now I have not seen it.
It's advertised.
It's advertised? Okay, so it's not on the
One for
website though?
second reading,
No.
but First readings, there's no requirement for any advertisement, it's just first reading.
Okay.
So it'll be advertised after first reading before second. But the other one was advertised, it doesn't-
In its full text?
absolutely.
It can be
I
read
haven't
to
seen
the-
that
Then can
advertisement.
we still read it though, even?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
great. And maybe in the future, it'd be easier for me and maybe some of the public to actually have it posted on the website. I didn't look under advertisements. I looked on the website to try to find it.
Yeah, I didn't have a complete copy of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll
if-
usually be posted.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll read it as soon as public comment closes. I'll read it out to you.
I can read it. I'm sponsoring it.
Okay, anybody else have a comment to make, public comment about agenda items? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, I move to close this portion of the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we move now to old business. First item in old business, executive session and regular session minutes for October 7th and 21st, 2015. So these are minutes that are, I guess, up for approval. I have certain edits that I would like to read out for the minutes. There were many inaudibles set forth in the minutes, and I would like to correct those if we can do that.
So we'll just table it for next meeting and if I can make those corrections. you can mark it
Because
out.
usually we send them to her beforehand.
How could I send them to? I don't get this until right before the meeting, so I don't have time.
Yeah.
Well, let's table it. Well, let's table it.
All right,
Which ones? Both of them or
table till next meeting.
both sets?
Sure.
Did you have changes on the other ones? Or was it just one? Otherwise we can approve one.
Both the little ones, so let's do them both. Okay, moving along. Ordinance number 2015-11, second reading and public hearing.
So we have to make a
To
motion to
amend?
table those?
I would.
I'll make a motion to table the minutes.
Motion, second.
Okay, all in favor, oh, is that a vote?
You can all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance number 2015, second reading and public hearing to amend, revise, and supplement the code of the Township of Lopatcong to create Chapter 25 entitled Executive Session. Katrina, would you want to chime in on that a little bit?
Sure.
While we're doing this?
This is part of the settlement on the in-law lawsuit, but what it actually is in its entirety is a recitation of the statute as it stands regarding taking and adoption of executive session minutes. It also puts in some timelines that aren't necessarily in the statute, but that the case law supports. So that's what it is. You're not promising to do any more than the statute requires you to do, but we're putting it all in writing so the staff, the council, and members of the public are aware of what the council is going to be doing.
Yes.
So they can
Yes,
set
this
their
it
expectations.
was, in the past, this had not been the way things were done. So now it is, and it's a good thing, and so we're going to do the second reading tonight for that. Number 3.
We have
Oh, we
to,
have to vote.
That's for sure.
It's a public hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to vote.
yeah, open up.
Oh,
public
yeah, that's
hearing.
right. 'cause even this is- All right, I'll make a motion to open to the public on ordinance number 2015-11.
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. All right.
Anybody have comments?
Any comments?
Okay,
Motion to close public hearing?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we move to ordinance number 2.
No, we have to vote on
What?
it now.
I'm in a hurry. All right. We need a motion to adopt.
Motion.
Need a
Second.
Now roll call.
Roll on, yeah.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilman Snyder.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor McKinney.
Yes. All right. Now we go to ordinance number 2015-12. And this is the second reading and public hearing to acknowledge the Lopatcong Association's formation as a nonprofit organization and the official athletic association of the township. Now we're going to open that up too. Take a motion.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now I believe Lori's going to read that.
Yeah, we'll start ordinance, what is this, 1512? Ordinance of the Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, acknowledging the Lopatcong Athletic Association's formation as a nonprofit organization and recognizing the Lopatcong Athletic Association as the official athletic association of the township. Whereas the elected council of the Township of Lopatcong established the Lopatcong Athletic Association, LAA, in 1997 to further the social, intellectual, and athletic development of the children of the Township of Lopatcong. And where over the years, the LAA has grown in participation and reach and has become a fundamental building block in the lives of the children of the Township of Lopatcong. And whereas the LAA is the governing body for all sanctioned sports in the township, which includes baseball, basketball, cheerleading, football, soccer, softball, twirling, and wrestling, and in which the athletes often participate under the LAA's common name of the Lopatcong Panthers. And whereas the LAA wishes to continue to grow as a provider of recreational athletic opportunities for the children of the Township of Lopatcong, and feels it can only accomplish this goal by forming itself as a nonprofit organization separate from the township. And whereas the elected council of the Township of Lopatcong fully supports the LAA in their goal to become a nonprofit organization separate from the township, and recognizes that this action will also relieve the township of some of the operational burdens of the LAA. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Township Council of the Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey as follows. Section 1. The Township Council acknowledges and supports the Lopatcong Athletic Association, LAA's, desire to form as a nonprofit organization separate from the township. Section 2. The Township Council recognizes the Lopatcong Athletic Association as it is now and in its future form as a nonprofit organization separate from the township as the official athletic association of the Township of Lopatcong, and that the LAA will be governed by the rules and regulations applicable to its form of nonprofit organization and also by the LAA's adopted bylaws. Section 3, upon formation as a nonprofit organization, the Township Council requests that the LAA provide a copy of the LAA's current bylaws and financial statements to the municipal clerk on a yearly basis for public accessibility. Section 4, is this the old one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The Township Council will provide the LAA as a nonprofit organization with a yearly, what were we saying? Like,
Donation of zero.
yearly donation of $0 per year to cover their operating expenses as determined by the Township Council in consultation with LAA. This amount can be decreased upon agreement by the Township Council and the LAA.
No, it can't. How can you go below zero?
Well, yeah, she'll explain that. Section 5, the Township Council will continue to allow the LAA to use the township's recreational fields, buildings, and equipment in the manner of which they are currently accustomed to using them. Section 6, the township will release all monetary funds belonging to the LAA immediately upon their request as pursuant to the LAA bylaws approved by the LAA in April 2015 and ratified by the Township Council in May 2015. Section 7, the various parts, sections, and clauses of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable. If any part, sentence, paragraph, section, or clauses adjudged unconstitutional and invalid by a court or competent jurisdiction, the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected thereby. Section 8, any ordinances or parts thereof in conflict with the provision of this ordinance are hereby repealed as to their inconsistencies only. Section 9, this ordinance shall take effect as required by law. I don't have to read the notice, do I? Okay. Did you want to explain that? Okay.
I sent members of council a memo. Oh, sorry. My voice will cut out halfway through this, I'm sure. I sent members of council a memo regarding my review of this and also what you currently have on the books. There is no LAA code section. You don't have laws in your books on the LAA. What you do have is a 1997 section 3 is an ordinance that basically says the township recognizes the LAA as its own. That's really all it says, and if I could find my notes, I'd tell you exactly what it does. And so, here it is. It says, this is the only paragraph in it. It says, Township Council has elected to establish the LAA to further the social, intellectual, and athletic development of the children of Lopatcong. And that said association shall be governed by the bylaws that are on file with the municipal clerk. So what this ordinance is doing is it's, in essence, instead of rescinding the old ordinance, it's superseding that ordinance, and it's saying that you're going to recognize the LAA as it currently is, but that when it becomes a nonprofit organization, you will recognize it as the official athletic provider of the Township of Lopatcong. The reason that Lori went from 10,000 to 0 is because I gave her the opinion that I do not believe the township has the authority, and the auditors agree, to give any donation to any nonprofit organization. What you can do is you can enter contractual agreements with organizations for services provided. So I think that was the discussion that was going to be had, is that you were going to enter contractual agreements with the LAA anyway about the use of the fields and things like that. So if the town chooses to, in advance, provide some monetary payment, it would have to be for a service provided. It couldn't just be a donation for the sake of making a donation. Just like, I know some people try to equate it to, we give our fire department a donation because they are the official fire department of the Township of Lopatcong. That is a special statute that says you can give your fire department a donation, and it says how much you can give them. So it's actually, there's no statute on point. It's the New Jersey Constitution that says you cannot give donations, because the thought is you can't take the taxpayers' dollars and decide what charitable organization is better than the rest, because maybe the Boy Scouts need some money and the Girl Scouts need some money. Everyone needs some money. So even though this was an organization that by leaving Lopatcong you may be saving money on the use of your staff or things like that, you can't just make a donation. So in order to move this forward, instead of redoing the ordinance, we dropped it down to 0, because there's some case law that says as long as when you make a change from first to second reading, as long as you're decreasing the burden, not increasing the burden, you can move on to second reading. So that was why it was opted. It's not the cleanest language. It says 0 now. It can always be amended later. But this way, the change is in place. So it's if you looked at all the language, it's anticipating the LAA becoming an organization, but it's not saying they're already an organization. And if the council feels strongly that they want to be clear that the insurance continues, when you're done with this, you could pass a resolution that just states that the insurance continues until such time as they have insurance in place, or something like that. If you really felt strongly about that, by all means, go ahead and do that to make everyone feel better that their kids are playing with insurance and the town's providing the insurance. By all means, do that. But just so everyone understands, that was the only code that was on the book before, was to say we create the LAA, but the bylaws are what actually govern the LAA, and the bylaws were created by the LAA. Now they're adopted by all of you, ratified by all of you, but the rules and regulations of the LAA that probably most of us think about, the governance, the finances, all of that, is an LAA entity. So when they decided to leave, that's really all they need to do is leave. This was just to assure them that they are still the official provider, and also there is some language in there about they would still get priority of the fields. I know there's some question about the language. There is a code section about the LAA having priority. That's
157,
I was going to say, I gave you the statute. 157-6 is a code section that you can find in the code that tells you the LAA gets priority, then other organizations within Lopatcong, and then there's a tiered system. So by saying, giving them the rights that they have now, it's giving them the rights that are in the code section. So at any point, you could look and see what was the code section on this date when they left, and still know. But you can also put that in any contractual agreement you enter into them. And I would just recommend you send on any contracts to my office to take a look at before you do anything. But the only real concern I had with the last version was the donation. So that's the change I requested that you make.
And that'll be covered by they're going to enter into the contract, but one of the things that they have already come up with is that they're going to line the fields.
Right.
So that'll be the
I heard
service,
was that they would provide maintenance of buildings, lining of fields. So things that are actually services, if you wanted to give them a contribution for providing those services, how much and what, that's completely up to you, and it's a contractual thing. So it's nothing you're requiring yourself to do at this point. That would be a total separate.
And the
negotiation.
LAA is currently working on their contract, so they should have something. They have a meeting on December 15th. So if they'll be discussing those at that point, I believe.
The contracts on how the fields are going to be maintained? Is that what you're talking
The
about?
contract on what they're going to offer you and what they would like back in return and all, across the board, like renting, building, all that.
So if we don't come up with an agreement and there's some spring sports coming up and they need the fields
They're not.
painted, then how do we?
Right now,
How do we do
everything
that?
is as it is because they are still under us. This is to get them, there's a bunch of steps that you have to take to get there. So this states when they are a 501c3, and again, their ability to go to a 501c3 is going to be contingent on your agreement to give them a contract. So that'll be coming now. Should it turn out that the council is completely disagreeable, then they can go back and they can choose to either undo what they did or continue on either way. Right now, like I said, they have agreed to form the 501c3 and get that going. They haven't come to you yet and said, we're ready to dissolve.
Okay, I guess, so you're telling me that this ordinance, if we pass it tonight with the second reading, it does not
No,
begin immediately?
it begins as with any ordinance after the second reading, 20 days after. But it says that you're going to recognize them as they are now and in their future form. And it's saying what you will do for them in their future. This is the first step in the process. So if they decide to bag it and they never form a 501c3, it already says that you're recognizing them as they are now under the township.
But then if they bag it, then what happens to the
Everything-
bank,
Nothing has
everything that's
changed
been
yet.
going on?
Nothing has changed yet.
Yeah, but this
Nothing's
is,
changed yet.
yeah, nothing's changed, but then if this doesn't happen until 20 days later, and they're not ready to do this as of yet, because it doesn't seem like everything is really put in
They
place.
can't put everything in place yet. They need to go through certain steps. This is what we're doing. Now, the meat and potatoes of this whole thing is going to be in the contract. This is basically, you're telling them, we understand you want to form as a 501c3 and we support you. That's basically what you're telling them.
But you're not, you have a whole bunch of other stuff in here. It's not just saying that, and that, I would be fine with just saying that, we'll support you and we'll still
Well, what
recognize
would you want to
you.
take out? You don't want them to use the fields as they're using? You don't
No.
want to release their money? It's in the bylaws that we passed. You have to. You
Of
have no
course you
choice.
have to. I'm not saying that. This is saying we're releasing all money, all monetary funds. Do we even know how much we owe them? Do we know how much they have in their account? I mean,
That
in our
will
money,
be
do we
on a
have the money to
reconciliation.
pay?
You better have their money.
Well,
Because
it
it's in
is
a trust fund
intermingled.
Separate, yeah, it's a trust.
Yeah, okay, but, like any other things that happen.
Well, I would hope that nothing happened to the LAA's money because they have entrusted the township with their money.
Of
So,
course. And same with the insurance, why wouldn't you put that in this ordinance about the
it's going
insurance?
to be in the contract.
I know you did, but, I know we did, but,
Because the ordinance stays forever. So once they do leave, you won't be providing them with insurance. Just like the old ordinance, we've always provided them with insurance, but that
But we
old
didn't
ordinance
list it.
that I read to you didn't say anything about providing them with insurance. And that's why you brought them in under you, was so you could provide them with insurance, but it didn't actually say in the ordinance, because things that can change, you try not to put in an ordinance like that, because one year you might provide it, one year you may say, no, they say, we've got our own, we don't need it. So it wasn't in the old one, and it's not in this one.
Yeah, and insurance
If-
laws can change.
If that
at any time.
ordinance wasn't on the books already, I'd probably advise you didn't even need anything. 'Cause
Right.
They're gonna do
Mhm.
what they're gonna do. The bylaws are gonna say when they can demand their money back, whether they can leave, all of that stuff is in their bylaws. So had you not had this 97 thing hanging out there, I mean,
You
they
wouldn't
may
have to
ask
do
you for it,
anything.
because I think they want the peace of mind that you will still support them.
sure,
But-
no one's saying we wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
No,
just
no.
abandon them, that would be
But I
silly.
think had there not been the 97, there wouldn't
We didn't need
necessarily
one.
be a need.
No, because it was
Right
in the
now, it's-
bylaws.
It's a conflict. It
Mhm.
seems like they're still under you, but if they go out, and then you have this ordinance.
And there's a lot of this is addressed in their bylaws that we passed back in May 2015.
There's no mention I see in here about a written contract between the parties. that's coming or should come down the
Well,
road?
you
Shouldn't
don't
it be?
You don't
technically
need
have to have a written.
You don't have to
contract,
have
but
a
if
written
want money
contract.
from
They
you,
want to have a written
they're gonna have to
contract
enter
with
a
you.
contract. They could go out on their own,
And
get
just
their own
go.
insurance,
Mhm.
do everything on their own, and never look back and not.
Well, They
get
they have
anything.
to enter the contract for the use of the fields.
Not technically, no, because we have the ordinance, what is it, 15706, that states that they have first priority.
It doesn't.
And for free, there's no charge also.
Well, it doesn't address also, I'm not trying to be nitty gritty, but I have to think about, budget too, but it doesn't address in here, and will this also be in contracts about the DPW when they go out on a Sunday to fix a field or to, who's gonna pay the
That
salary?
is, they're going to work out with that, and the LAA is going to be doing a lot of this thing. The DPW, listen, the fields are the township fields. If there's a problem with the township field, the township needs to take care of it. As far as the maintenance for actually having a ball game, that's what the
Yes.
LAA is going to do, and that's what they're going to put in their contract.
But in the contract, I think the answer is yes.
Mhm.
And I think the other thing maybe you should realize that maybe I didn't say is that they're going to have to provide insurance not only to their kids, but they're going to have to provide the town insurance. Because at this point, they're going to be using the town's field.
Right.
And if something goes wrong, then we may have to call on their insurance. So that's going to be in there. There's going to be, just like every other organization that uses the
Right.
field, there's going to be an indemnification
Mhm.
language, things like that. So that would be in.
I believe that's in the ordinance too. We say
It
that we
is-
want general,
It is in
yeah.
our ordinance,
Mhm.
yeah. But I would, can't hurt. Indemnification language can
Right, it doesn't hurt.
never be in two little places.
So, are you also saying in here, say we have, a baseball team that is run by Lopatcong, and then say we have, I don't know, 60
Minors?
kids, 60 kids in Lopatcong that want to do their own. Are you saying they won't be recognized by the town and
They
that
would
they
have
won't
to
have
come.
first priority?
No, they
and
don't have first priority now. The LAA has first priority now.
Even though your children in this township?
If they're setting up as an organization to play baseball, they need insurance to play on your field. If
Right.
they're not covered under anybody, they need to either come to you and say, can you make us your organization, or they're going to have to provide you.
No, I understand
With
that they need to
insurance.
get their own insurance, but what I'm saying is, are you going to say to them that they won't have priority to the baseball fields?
The ordinance that is on the books
That's the
states that the official athletic association of the township has priority over the high school, over the middle school, over the elementary school, over any kind of separate organizations. That is done right now because we can't have our kids, we can't schedule games and have somebody come in and say, well, we want to take it now. You can't do that.
Yeah, no, I get
You
that.
wouldn't
I'm
want to
just,
do that.
I would feel badly if we did have 100 kids in the town that decided that they don't want to be,
They would have to
that.
form an organization.
I know
Basically,
I know all that. I know they
Right.
would, but what I'm saying is, if they did, that they wouldn't have the same privileges
No.
as the official LEA would.
They don't. No, they don't now. And
But we don't have anybody right now, do we?
there's plenty of other baseball groups out there, yes. There's tons of them. Tons of little groups.
Like
Rec. Rec? I'm talking rec.
You could consider them rec. They would have to, you can't just have 100 kids come to you and say, we want to play baseball. They need to give you insurance. In order to get insurance, they need to be some type of organization. At that point, you look at your ordinance that's in place already and you see where they fall as an organization.
Right, I know that what they need to provide if they were to. But I guess I'm not saying it
I think,
clear enough.
what are you saying? Like, another group of kids comes and says, we want to be the official athletic association, you would have to rescind this.
Right.
Right, you would have to do that. Mhm.
Yes.
I think you should.
We have to,
Come on.
make a motion to open a public
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, motion.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Brian Weeks, 28 South Center. We already do that already, guys. It's not like we're trying to create anything different here. We have teams that come in, we have adult teams, we have that are in this public field that pay taxes, all right, besides our kids. We have a lacrosse team that comes in the spring, all right? They're bumped wherever we can fit them, all right? They don't take priority over any sport here, all right? This town controls that sport. They fit wherever we want to put them, okay, as you know, people. So I don't think anything changes there is what I'm trying to get at, all right? Because we do it already, All right, I mean, we bumped lacrosse, off field, we call it 3, 4, and 5, soccer field, the one above the basketball courts. All right, I told them, no, you're not playing there this year, you're down below. Oh, okay, well, so we still have the control. It's our fields, it's our town. All right, that just gives them the permission to make sure that they play, because they're our official town teams. All right, anybody else wants to come in, there's room, more power to them. But we have we agreed to if we agree to that, okay, that they're our official organization for this township, and we give them first rights, just like we would our own kids for our own backyard.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to play in my yard, and before the neighbors are going to come over and swim in the pool. You know what I mean? So to me, nothing changes. So that's, I don't know if I helped or hurt, but
No, thank you.
I think we do it right.
If nothing changes, why are we doing this? It's costing.
No, nothing changes from.
Because you had an ordinance,
Uses
yeah,
the field.
Katrina explained that. You had an ordinance on the book that you need to update.
Mr. Gallant, you have to come up. Sorry.
Already on 245 Aurora Street. Katrina, I just had a question. You mentioned about extending the insurance until the LAA had their insurance.
You have them on your insurance
Yeah.
policy now,
Right.
so
But once they become a nonprofit, you can't do that, correct? Once they're
Right.
official.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's only until that time.
Until they're official.
Which you would do anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
June?
June Valley for 32 Jade Lane. Just a quick comment about the language of the ordinance. As you guys can see, oftentimes you are looking back at these laws, digging them up. They haven't been looked at or revisited in years or decades. So I'm wondering if the language is not somewhat vague, and maybe you can read it to me again. The line where you say, "as they are now and in their future form."
Yeah.
In the future form part, does it specify as a
As a
nonprofit?
nonprofit organization separate
Okay.
from the township.
Okay, good, because I just want to, there should definitely, if they became some other form of organization, you might not be able to support them. But the "as they are now" part is, to me, potentially vague 20, 30, 40 years from now.
No, yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only thing with this is this language where the township council will continue to allow the LA to use township recreational fields, buildings, and equipment in a manner of which they are currently accustomed to using them. To me, it's not descriptive. It doesn't really say anything. It doesn't specify what they're supposed to do. And I think, that should be tightened up.
In the contract.
Mhm.
It doesn't specify that.
And you have an ordinance on the book that says, again, you don't have to approve it.
and if it, right now, it's supposed to.
No.
Well, and if, attaching to this a copy of section 157.6, if you think that would be helpful to anyone reading it, you can always, you could put, section 156 attached, you can add, or see section 156 of the township code. You can, if you think a direction to.
I mean, is there such urgency to doing this that it
Yes.
can't wait till it's put in better form?
No,
What is the urgency?
they need to get going. And they need to know that you're going to support them. So it's up to you when it comes to vote whether or not you're going to support them. Right now, you don't have a contract with
Nothing to do with
anything on the
support.
field.
No, we represent the township, and we have to make sure that the township's interests are properly balanced with the interests of the LAA. And if it means that, this contract which you wrote and didn't have an attorney do, needs to be tightened up
It's an ordinance.
for this ordinance, then maybe we should do that first, and then so we go forward in a more, professional fashion.
Because you wouldn't want to be specific. You want to sit here and say 150 bats, 250 helmets. You don't put that in an ordinance.
I don't think we're talking about that at all.
No, that's what we
we're
are talking
saying-
about.
No, but how do you know what I'm talking about?
That's what we're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, but I know
I'm
what I'm
talking about
talking
where
about.
we're saying about the custom and the manner in which they're used to using them, type language. I mean, you should say that that's going to be subject to a written contract between the township and the LAA, which will be renewed annually. And that way, everybody knows what's coming. But you leave it open, so anything can come, in my opinion.
I just don't see how you would ever take anything away from the children. So I don't even understand why it's an issue.
No one's talking about taking anything away from the children. And I got to, I just want to clarify something, and then, hopefully we can move on. For the past year and a half, because if you don't support 100% something that's been put on your desk, you're automatically considered a hater of those people. If you don't support the fire truck, now I'm a fire truck hater. If you don't support exactly the wording in this and you'd like to have more clarification, now I'm a child hater. It really needs to stop. And no one up here does not support the LAA. Look, I don't have children in the LAA. Unfortunately, with my situation, it's very difficult. But I support them in almost everything they do. Every flower that comes my way, every pizza, anything that comes my direction, I buy it. I donate, I support, I do all of that because they deserve it. It doesn't mean I hate them because I want something to be in a better form. Marla?
Marla Endick, 10 Byron Drive, and I just echo what you say, Donna. It's a shame that when people are expressing concern about the financial implications of different things, if they question it, then they are called haters of things. It's just insane. You guys are supposed to represent the taxpayers. The question is, I've heard a mention of contract a few times, but I am unclear. Is there going to be a written contract that the township signs and the LAA drafts that lays out somewhere, this is how much we get for this, or we get that? Is there going to be something official drafted so the township knows what they are in for financially? I know there's vague language in the ordinance that says you're supposed to give $10,000.
We just took that
It
out.
got took out because I got a copy of the ordinance from you, Beth, yesterday, so it's been taken out since?
No,
She went over
it's
that.
still the old
I'm
copy.
sorry, I wasn't here, I was at the hospital.
No.
Sorry.
We don't have an amended copy. It's still the same copy, but what they're saying is, well, we'll just take this out, we'll add that here.
Okay.
And instead of waiting till next month to have a clean
Okay,
copy.
so I missed that the 10,000 is going to be taken out. Okay.
Yes.
I was under the impression at the last meeting, was there not an agreement that Katrina was going to be rewriting this ordinance, or there was a request made? Oh, reviewing it.
I gave it to
And I
the attorney
recommended
before the
it.
last meeting. It didn't get reviewed. It has since been reviewed.
Okay, it's been reviewed and you gave your blessing on it.
I said they can't get the money.
Okay,
In this-
Since
In
it's
the
between
ordinance.
readings, if you
Okay.
make a substantive
yeah.
change, you got to go back to first.
okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I just think it behooves you guys just to make sure the financial obligations are clearly listed out as to what this actually means. Unfortunately, I don't know how it works right now at the LAA. They're underneath the township. I know they charge fees and admissions and stuff for sports. I don't know if the money goes into an account and that stays with them and has nothing to do with the township. I'm just wondering, how does all that change? If they become a nonprofit, then they're on their own. They get the profits of everything that comes in, but the township just financially supports by a certain amount of money a year?
If
What
they
I
choose
said
to.
If they
when we were
choose to.
here is the town can only give them financial money in exchange for a service. So you can't just give them money.
Okay.
So if they are going to
Line
line
the
the fields, they're going to do repairs to buildings,
Mm-hmm.
then in a contract, this council will have to decide what that's worth
Okay.
and put a dollar on. But you can't give them money because you can't make
Okay.
donations.
And again,
Do that
love the LAA. My kids participate, think it's great. Just think we need to be responsible. Can someone please explain the contract? What is the contract?
You can
How
go
does
to the
that work?
LA meeting on December 15th.
Okay, who signs the contract?
I would guess council will have to ratify.
So if it involves council, can you
It has
guys,
to come back.
It has to come
okay,
back here.
so can you enlighten us about what the contract is or how that
They
works?
have to put it together. You should go to the
It's
LA
not-
meeting.
It's not mentioned in this ordinance.
Right.
There will be a contract.
That's another,
They don't need
exactly.
a
I
contract
suggest we need to
either.
put that in there. I think we need, that's a very small change. This will be
Okay.
a contract.
Well, you guys got to
and it'll
figure it
be
out. Okay.
Reviewed annually. And this way, everybody knows what's coming. That's mine.
That would be nice.
That,
Yes.
Is it substantial?
If
Well,
you're
you
just
say it was
clarifying.
implied anyhow, so we're just
Yeah.
clarifying.
that's okay, come on up. Thanks.
Katrina, I apologize, and I don't mean to harp on this and waste everybody's time. I just need, Katrina, could you explain to me again what it spells out that the formation, and then once it becomes separate from the town, how does then that not separate the LAA then today or 20 days from now? I'm still not clear because within the ordinance it says the formation and separates.
It says we recognize them as they are now. which is
Correct.
Under us.
Okay,
And then
We recognize them
In their
as the
future
official
form.
athletic
Mhm.
provider of Lopatcong if they form a nonprofit organization.
It says if,
Because in its future form as a nonprofit organization,
separate from the town.
separate from the township.
So then how does that not release it from the town?
It doesn't, because they're, as it is now, they are still under the town. They are not officially a 501c3. They haven't come, they haven't dissolved themselves, they haven't come before council and said they have dissolved, they haven't done all it. There's more stuff they need to do on their end, which you can address at the LA meeting on December 15th.
How should they get their normal while you guys get some of those?
They are, no,
They are, but for some reason, I don't know why we can't wait till the next meeting to give a proper copy to all of us, so we're all on the same page with this.
you cannot,
That's all.
okay. Is there any other public comment?
Well, I wanted to read in what the change I'd like to make.
How about section 5, at the very end, comma, as detailed in a written contract?
Between the parties to be finalized by and a date.
I
No, I
don't
don't
think put a
think
date in there.
Written contract. Between-
Then we should say it should be reviewed annually at the township reorganization.
Well, you may not want, they may not want to do an annual
You may
contract,
enter
they may want to do
a
longer.
contract.
Yeah,
That will be for you when you're
when
negotiating.
you're negotiating,
What
exactly.
you
Okay.
may get a benefit from having a longer contract. They may
Mhm.
provide more services, or you may provide
I just
less.
want to make sure everybody knows what's
And I think
expected.
putting in a written contract is.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, good.
Yeah, take a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
Motion,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Now we need to make a motion to adopt with the changes. Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe? Yes. Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Sheffield?
Yes.
Chairman White?
Yes. Okay, number 4, ordinance number 2015-13, second reading and public hearing of the cable franchise renewal ordinance. Okay, we have to make a motion to go to public session.
Open to public comment.
You open the public comment.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're out there. Anybody have any questions on the cable contract? Okay.
Just, it's a renewal for a term of, thank you, 15
And that means
years.
we can't get any other cable providers?
No.
No, that doesn't mean that, no.
And I don't think there are.
There
any
will never be.
cable providers.
There's no other line. Service Electric is the only person who, just to give you some background, Service Electric is the only cable company that has laid lines through the town. So unless somebody else buys their line or somebody else pays to lay their lines through, this is the only cable company who has.
All right, now, has anyone gone to them and set forth our wish list about the connections we want them to provide to us?
We laid out in your ordinance what you want them to do.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's fully laid out. Everyone's okay with that?
We haven't heard official back from them, but
Okay,
this is what Phillipsburg got,
Mhm.
this is what
Okay.
Harmony got.
okay, okay.
I don't think they're doing any better.
Okay.
And we'll follow up with the senior citizen discount form. It's in here, so we just gotta get the official.
Yep.
Okay. And the other thing that was just pointed out to me, last page, definition of township. We have County of Harmony in there, so we just address that.
I told you, it's just like Harmony.
Yes,
I will
right.
correct
So
that.
much.
We're doing. Here's it, thank you, Paul. Page 3, bottom.
County of Harmony.
It says Township of Lopatcong, so it should stay Warren.
County Warren.
Okay, take a motion to come out of open.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion to adopt. Roll call, please. Oh,
We have
need a
motion- motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call, please.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Number 5, resolution to memorialize hiring. Richard Kesselback and Todd Richards as full-time laborers in the Department of Public Works.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Lopez?
Yes.
Councilwoman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Tezza?
Yes.
Yes. Number 6, discussion and possible first reading of an ordinance to amend the redevelopment plan.
Can we give a little overview?
Yes.
Okay, there are, I would, in my opinion, 3 distinct steps in the process for the redeveloper that Mr. Baumann touched on briefly. The first, or what my office has recommended you do first, is to amend your redevelopment plan. You have a redevelopment plan on the books now. It's from 2006? 2007, Polly's correcting. It's from what you were going to redevelop it as last time. So you have to make that change. That is what George Ritter was working on. Did he send a copy to everyone on council of the redevelopment plan? No.
No.
Okay. We talked to him yesterday. So let me just finish the process. So this is in my office's opinion, the first step you should take. The next step we recommend is to sign the redeveloper's agreement. And then the third step is to sign this financial agreement that the mayor has discussed. They are all separate and apart from each other and can be done separately. So for example, if you generally like the idea of the redevelopment plan and you want to go with this redevelopment plan, you can change your ordinance. But then if you still have problems with the redeveloper's agreement or the financial agreement, you can work and negotiate those. And if you never, you lock heads and you can't go forward, your redevelopment plan will stay that way until you change it. You can change it back. You can, that's just by ordinance you have to do that. So it requires first and second reading. And so the redeveloper's agreement is an agreement with the redeveloper about what they're going to do. And then the financial agreement is, as it sounds, a financial agreement about those things. So it was our office's recommendation that you do the redevelopment plan first, because that's the first step, the first thing you need. And it requires first and second reading. And in between, it has to go to the planning board. So I put it on it was my request to put it on the agenda because I heard the redevelopment plan was coming your way. I did not realize you did not have it yet.
Yeah, I don't want to pass a first reading until I actually.
Well, that's why I said possible.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that it has gone to your engineer who made comments on it. It came to my office and we made comments, so that may have been the delay in the process. But I think Paul made some comments. My office, in the legal sense, was fine with it. So, unfortunately, if you don't do first reading tonight, you cannot do first reading at the December meeting because you can't have first reading between years because you'll have a new sitting council. So you'll have to put it on the agenda for the reorg. So I would recommend maybe you just make a motion to table and place on the reorg agenda.
Yes.
That way it's already there. Beth's already got it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I will reach out to George tomorrow and get you guys that ASAP so you have all month to look at it. And that way, if you have any questions, you can call George ahead of time so maybe all your questions can be answered. And if you have questions, you can always ask them. If you need George to come to the December 30th meeting so you can ask him these questions, you may not be able to do first reading, but,
we can discuss it.
make
more.
sure you're ready for the January meting.
Okay.
So maybe
Okay, let's do
Mr.
that.
Bauman's client feels better knowing that at least you've got all your homework done by then.
Yeah.
Maybe you like.
Okay.
Is what it is.
Okay.
So we need to make a motion right now, or do we just,
To table it.
table?
It's probably a
Okay.
good idea.
Motion to table the amendment of the redevelopment plan until the January 2016 reorg meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
What's all in favor?
Just a table.
They may not develop in Lopatcong. They may just go with
They have
Phillipsburg.
to.
They don't have
Buy
to
the
know.
property,
There's another
they
way
may
to get
do
in.
other things. If they buy the property, then they can do
Right.
whatever they want.
Yep. Okay.
And just in Mr. Ritter's defense, it's not that he was delayed in getting this to you. I have kept him busy all week with your COA filing, which went in yesterday,
Okay.
2 days ago, 2 days ago. So
Okay.
I have been in constant contact with him, so that may be the holdup.
Okay.
It's this group, they send things to you and expect immediate responses.
They run like a business and we run like a
Yeah.
government.
Very good analogy.
Yes. Paul, is that our only redevelopment area?
Yes, it is.
So whenever we talk about redevelopment, we're talking about Ingersoll Ranch. We don't have any other redevelopment area.
Okay, let's see. The motion to approve the Imhoff settlement.
What invoice? I don't have a copy of the invoice.
No,
Settlement.
Oh, 7, sorry, I'm on 8. Never mind.
Settlement.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilwoman McVeigh,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Jessen.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Number 8, approve revised invoice for payment to John Carbone in the amount of $2,082.18 with regard to the Imhoff litigation. Do you want to expand on that, Katrina?
Sure. I sent everyone a memo. We received 2 invoices from Mr. Carbone. They were for the improper rate. You approved a rate of $125 an hour, and it was under his old rate of $200 an hour. So you had paid his first invoice. So what I did was I figured out what at $125 both invoices come to, and took the credit that you shouldn't have paid him on the first invoice and took it from this invoice. So his invoice that is sitting for authorization, that was sitting, the mayor pulled, was for about $3,800. So I'm telling you that what you should be paying is $2,000. So because the invoice, the purchase orders that was created before was for $3,800, you should only, so it's on separately, it's not on a bill list, because if I wanted council to be able to see and discuss the adjustment. And I think I provided all to you in an email, what he billed total, what he should have billed, what you've paid so far, and what is left. And so the $2,000 is what he paid.
Okay.
So I think the total you paid was $4,000 and change.
Okay.
When you pay this, I mean.
In total.
In total.
Okay.
Okay, motion to approve.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
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 Council President Jessen.
Yes.
Yes. I have an add-on item to appoint Matt Hertzner to the Shade Tree Committee. There he is.
Yay.
So you are so appointed. The pumper should be re-advertised. They will hire people, didn't come back. So
Lou,
No,
did you want to address that?
The agreement back in October was that it wasn't sold by November 30th, that we would sell to Oxford.
no, it was supposed to be
Yeah.
there were 2 stages. We had a
We
new.
went through October
date.
and November, 2 months. That was the agreement.
That's right.
They spoke to the fire chief today. They are still interested. They just want to come out and check out the truck. To
You want
see
to
the
check it out
condition,
for $3,000?
because it's been sitting outside.
I think that would be great if they come check it out, and if they still want it, that's the benefit to the township.
I know you love it.
Set it
Okay,
up.
good. Well, then we'll do that.
Should we make a motion to,
You have to do that by resolution.
oh, I mean, a motion just to have, someone reach out to the fire chief to, because he just wants to come and look at the truck.
You need a motion for that?
I don't know if you want to make it official.
I don't think so.
Lou, do you want to do it?
It's,
Do you
You want
want
to
to?
reach out to them?
belongs to Oxford if they want it,
Okay.
okay? So if they want it, it's theirs.
If someone could let me know once you've spoken to them, because I'll
Okay.
prepare the paperwork that you need.
Okay.
I'll talk to our fire chief so he can reach out to him and
In
meet with
fact,
him.
we
And
did the paperwork already, so I'll just
Make sure it's,
change it to put
Okay.
the right dates on.
okay. And that's for both trucks still?
he is interested in both trucks, yes. So he wants to take a look at them and then they'll make an offer.
Okay. an offer. We
No,
offered
we
it
said they had to
for
pay 6,000.
6.
Well, they let
No,
them,
no.
No, we didn't say that.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
it was on
that's
the,
why I wanted to make a motion to allow the fire chief to go look at them and see if he's
No,
still
no,
interested.
no.
Well, I'm making a motion to allow the fire chief of Oxford to come out and look at the trucks and see if he's still interested.
Second the motion, please.
Whatever the
Let's
dollar
move forward.
amount. Oh, I'll let you vote first now.
Okay. Councilman Belcher,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
I would say with whatever we said to them before, we should stick with that number. So no.
Is that your motion?
She
I
said
think
no.
that's her reason for
Voted no.
Oh,
no.
she said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said so no.
Council President Jessen.
Yes.
No.
Just so you're aware, this paperwork that I have to do will have the amount in it. So you're not officially authorizing it to go for any price until you do that. So it'll have the old price in it. And if you come back and say they offered 5,500 and then council agrees to that, we'll put that amount in there. So
So you're saying right now, just let them, what they come back with isn't necessarily what we're voting on tonight?
right,
No,
you're not
that's-
authorizing it
no.
to, it can't leave here and they can't pay you until you do that other paperwork. So you can, it's left to fight for another day.
Okay, got it.
But I'll bring it back with the old price in it. And
Okay,
if you authorize me to change it, I'll change it.
okay.
Okay, new business. All right, resolution authorizing the redemption of tax sale certificate 2013-017 and premium in the amount of $25,919.76 on Block 99, Lot 136, CO 604.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Belcher,
Aye.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Jessen.
Yes.
All right, we'll do 2 and 3 together. Those both resolutions, they are in front of you. Motion,
Motion.
Second.
roll call, please.
Councilman Belcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Council President Jessen.
Yes.
Yes. All right, the next one is something that was thrown at me at the last minute, about an hour ago, an hour before the meeting started, about changing the recreation committee on another law. I think.
Are you reading that, Lori?
No, it's not mine.
I have it. You want me to read it? I will. Should I read it with the changes, like the old and then the new way? Is that easier?
You can just read it the new way. I just gave it to you.
I would read it the old way and tell everybody what the changes are.
Okay. Whereas the Council of Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey does not feel it is necessary for a member of the Township Council to be.
No, that's A. You didn't do A.
Hey,
She's reading the whole thing.
Want me to
Pursuant,
read the whole thing or not?
yeah, the whole
There is
thing.
a
Okay, well, that's what I do.
Oh, there's a full ordinance.
Does not feel.
Are you reading that?
Does not feel it necessary for a member of the Township Council to be required to be a member of the Recreation Committee because it is advisory. in nature.
Before you, can I just interrupt for a second if you don't mind? This is 3 pages worth of stuff that I just got a few hours ago. I haven't even looked at this because I didn't even have it a few hours ago. Actually, I got it when I walked in. This was on my desk when I walked in. I have not even read it yet. This should be tabled until the next meeting. So
Great.
everyone here has a
Great.
chance to look at it because I
Table it.
just got it at 6 o'clock tonight.
Tables.
I think you have your right to vote on it.
Table
This
it.
is our
We
first
don't have
reading.
the right to vote on it
Keep
when
on
I
it,
haven't
something
even
showed us
read
an hour
it.
before the meeting.
Excuse me, an hour before the reading, I'm changing like 4 words.
No, you're not. A big important word. You're changing things from the mayor giving with the consent of council to the township council doing it. Again, at the December meeting, to take more away from what the mayor has always had the right to do. You did it in the last December meeting, now you're doing it this one. And again, just because you have majority and that you know you're going to get your votes passed, doesn't mean you put this on my desk at 6 o'clock at night and expect me to vote on it.
Well, if we had majority and I knew the vote was going to get cast, it wouldn't put on your desk at all.
Right,
Would be no
exactly.
need. Okay.
And that's exactly what you did, because it doesn't matter, 6 o'clock or now, or
It seems
tonight.
like you did read it, Donna. so
I
let me
didn't
move
read it.
forward.
I'm looking at it right now and I see mayor scratched off on here. It doesn't take a genius to find out what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's a reason. The Recreation Committee is a valuable committee to this township, advisory in nature. They have been running our community day successfully, and I feel that there's no need to politicize it as it would be with this appointment of mayor, and obviously for obvious
Politicize it.
reasons.
How's that political?
What are you talking
That's the
about?
way it's been since the beginning of.
Yes, well, now there's, so then we never change it?
There's no.
Why-
need to.
why do you
It costs
need to
a couple
change it?
$1,000 every time you change one of these.
Not a couple
You do it
$1,000?
willingly. Yeah, you gotta
No,
have
it's
you gotta
not.
advertise it.
No, it's not. It's not a couple $1,000. No, not at all.
You gotta get
$80.
Yeah.
It's a big
If you're gonna
difference
use
from a couple
numbers, I
thousand.
prefer you use the correct ones.
Yes.
You just
Again-
do it to because they pay.
What we'd like to
understand
change,
that, but
you know
So
what?
which
Wasting
one of
all
you
our
are
time.
going to be on the
I'm not the one wasting the time.
You got to do movies at the pool too. Which one of you is stepping up to?
That has nothing to do with the ordinance,
yeah.
because the mayor didn't do movies at the pool either, and he had the former mayor.
I did movies at
Right,
the
but
pool.
this shows the mayor and consent
So
council, you
maybe
didn't have a
you will
problem
see
last
why
year.
it should be
You
appointed
didn't
by
have a
governing
problem last
body
year,
and not
or
from
the years
mayor.
before that, but now you found another one yet to change, and this is actually ridiculous.
You don't
It's-
even.
it's-
This discussion is
It's
done.
beyond
Talk to people on
stupid,
the-
it really is.
They don't know about it. This is your thing because you want to try to get more power for yourselves. And I understand that. That's important to you.
So which one of you? is
Let's
gonna be
move
on-
forward then.
Joe, you want to be on
That has
recreation?
nothing to do with the fact that you want to change an ordinance to take the mayor off of there. Why, Lori?
Well, I'm glad we're discussing it. Which shall consist of 7 members of the committee. Thank you.
Not mine. I'll-
All right, well, I'll continue.
Well, that's
Since
what-
we've
that's what she
discussed it
wants.
Now, we've spent our time on it. The second whereas, which is where I stopped, I believe, where I was interrupted. The Council of Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, feels it is best for the members of this advisory committee to be chosen by a majority vote of the entire governing body. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, that the Code of the Township of Lopatcong, Section 53, Recreation Committee, Section 1, Committee created, title, membership, term, vacancies, shall be amended as follows. Section 1, Committee created, title, membership, term, vacancies. A, pursuant to the authority vested in the Council of the Township of Lopatcong, there is hereby established a Recreation Committee, to be known as the Recreation Committee of the Township of Lopatcong, which shall consist of 7 members appointed by the governing body. Crossing out with the phrase, "the mayor, with consent of council, one of whom shall be a member of the municipal governing body," and, crossing that out,
That's crossed out.
all of whom shall be residents of the township. The membership of said committee shall serve without compensation except as hereinafter provided. Section B, the committee, crossing out the words "the mayor," the committee shall designate one of the members to serve as a chairman and presiding officer of the committee. The terms of the office of the first committee members shall be for 1, 2, or 3 years to be designated by the governing body, crossing out the words "the mayor," in making its appointment, so that the terms of approximately 1/3 of the members will expire each year, and their successors shall be appointed for terms of 3 years and until the appointment and qualification of their successors. The Township Council may remove any member of the committee for cause on written charges served upon the member and after a hearing thereon, at which the member shall be entitled to be heard in person or by counsel, if so desired by the member. C, a vacancy on the committee occurring otherwise than by expiration of a term shall be filled for the unexpired term in the same manner as in the original appointment. That is the end of the ordinance, other than the following notice in the ordinance. So the changes are to make the appointment by the governing body. That's in Section A. And in Section B, also to change it to
So
be
the
the
most
committee.
important one.
Sorry, change it, to cross out the mayor with consent of council. One
No,
of
one whom shall be a member of the municipal. Yeah.
one of the whole section that I had already said.
Listen, it's a 7-member committee. One has to be a council member. I don't see anybody jumping up here to do it. If you
Why
can
does one,
open it
it's
up-
never been, why does one have to
That's
be?
the way the ordinance reads right now, is that a member of this council has to sit on it. You can still sit on it.
So you have not given that right to the mayor in the January meeting to ask to do this. You're taking away the right for the January meeting to have the mayor make that decision and appoint someone. No, you're doing it, Lori,
I'm not
because,
doing it, Maureen. and
no, you're doing it
She doesn't want to
because,
be on the.
okay, You're doing it because you're leaving and you're on the recreation committee and you don't want to be taken off and you think the mayor would do that.
I didn't put my name in to be renewed yet,
All right,
so.
time out. I'm the one reading the
Whatever.
change in the
This is what's
ordinance.
going on. Wake up, folks.
We have
This is
our-
what's been going on for 2 years. Wake up.
They're all awake, Donna.
No,
Trust me.
they're not.
They're all well aware.
Yeah.
Listen, it's, instead of one person, it'll be a committee.
Unbelievable.
No. Right now, it's a committee of 7 people. One has to be a council member.
Mayor.
Okay, all right.
have some order.
Yes, Mayor.
Mayor.
Everybody, please.
Forum in here. Come on. You're having a meeting. Let them conduct their business. You get your cabinet call this morning.
Thank
This
you.
is a first reading. There will be public hearing December 30th, right? Is that your meeting, December 30th? On
Right.
this. So, first
No.
reading.
All right, so the record will reflect that the members of the council, well, 2 of the members of the council didn't see this until about an hour before the meeting. And it's so important and it's so critical that this has to be passed, that they're going to vote on it. Okay, vote. Vote.
I don't have a motion in the second.
Motion.
Motion, vote. All right,
Motion.
now a motion second, they did it. All right, now vote. Get it out of my plate here.
It's only the first reading, yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider.
No.
Council President Chesler.
So I could say no and make one of you actually be on the committee, but I'll say yes.
That's not the
No.
case.
It
All
is
right.
the case.
No, it's not.
So you changed the
Thank
law,
you.
Maureen, so you wouldn't have to serve on the committee?
We've
Or
already
you, or
discussed
Donna,
it.
or Lou, or Joe. Otherwise, one of you has
Can't
to.
make this stuff up. All right.
Who says you didn't have to? Who says nobody wanted it? You've never afforded that opportunity now.
But
You
the
just took it
ordinance
away.
says it has to be a council member.
All right, we've already taken a vote. Can we please move forward?
Oh,
There's people here that have work tomorrow.
January 1st.
Okay, excuse. No, you're excused.
Beth, can you just have the record reflect that
Oh, yes, I will.
Councilwoman Schneider had to leave?
Okay, the last item is to authorize purchase of fire equipment lost in a greenhouse fire in Harmony Township.
If I could, Mayor, I can fill you in a little bit on that.
I read about it, but, yeah.
There was a fire in Harmony Township, and of course, our fire department responded, and there was a loss of equipment totaling approximately around $5,500. Their line item is spent, okay? And the insurance company will not reimburse until they have a receipt. But they will forward a partial check to us. So I need you to approve the purchase. They can get the equipment, the receipts will be handed in, plus our deductible, of course, and possibly some depreciation. But they absolutely need this equipment, and there is a list in your packet.
Yeah.
Right.
of what-
All right, take a motion to approve this. It's an emergency matter.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
And
Yes. Council reports. I guess we'll start with Lou.
Route 57 project is complete 100%. The demolition of the old concrete housing has been demolished. So that's over and done with. What's going to happen now is that Dan Manning, over the next month, he will work to complete the final quantities for the project and look to settle any claims associated with the 4-month delay caused by the JCP&L to disconnect the power. He will discuss with the contractor and present us with a suggested settlement offer that he can work out with him. There'll be 2 things, for the 4-month delay and also the credit deducting the final paving on Baltimore Street. So he'll come back with a settlement, and then maybe we can discuss and negotiate something like that. Until then.
You like settlements with big ones. Big ones.
Well, we'll see what happens. And on Stonehenge, as far as the sewage leak, it's been sporadic. They still have not determined where it's coming from 100%. So we're keeping an eye on it. It hasn't happened recently, but they're watching it. And also, I know we got some from the NJDEP. We got 4 violations that Dan Manning is working on. And they're small items, and he believes his response will satisfy the NJDEP. A couple small things, that's all it is. Nothing major, nothing to be concerned about. And that's it, then my report for today.
Thank you, Lou. Lori?
All right, this Saturday at the DPW garage, there is a rabies clinic for dogs and cats from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. As you know, your dog licenses will be due in January, so if your dogs do need to get their rabies shots, their rabies shot has to be good through November of next year, I believe. Then you should get your shot so this way you can pay your dog license on time and you won't hit any fines. Also, just to make an announcement, if your dog license is not paid by June 2016, you will be issued a summons. For recreation, on December 14th, Monday, here at the building at 7 p.m., we're having a meeting to discuss the potential for a dog park in our town. Again, that's open to the public. We're going to have some speakers here. And we're having also the recreation in January on the 24th or the 31st. The 31st is a snow date from 5 to 9. We're having a fundraiser, Eats and Beats. We'll have more on that as it comes along. Shade Tree, up until this point, we haven't had a quorum of members, but now we have Matt. So I guess they're not set to meet until January again. We did have a matter before Shade Tree, which I think this council is going to have to deal with. I'll talk to Paul a little more and bring my suggestion to the December 30th meeting, but I think we need to put this matter that's been going around to bed.
Is that the aggravated tree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not Shade Tree. I didn't think that.
Well, you sent it to Shade Tree. It
I
needs to
didn't.
come back here.
I didn't.
Technology. We're going to have to upgrade the website next year. I suggest you guys budget for that. We're on an old platform. I don't have anything on the school board except for I know Maureen was going to cover it, but they have a breakfast. She'll go into that on December 10th. Have a couple other things. We're going to be looking into the bank contracts to see where we can get the best deal for our money. We lost some money going to PNC. We're going to see if either they can match us and get us back to what we had with our old bank or switch back to the old bank. I had put together, at the last meeting, we had talked about some social media issues. I put together a letter to Katrina. I don't know if, once we get approval, how we're going to do that. Do we approve it at the next meeting and then send it out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing is Harmony is leaving our court. I think there are opportunities out there for court sharing. I would advise next year's council to definitely look into that, and you might want to start now to get them on board for next year, because losing Harmony is going to be a hit on the budget. We don't have, and again, for next year's council, I think the administrative policy for employees needs to be changed. When employees leave, I think we need to put in there specific things we need to do, like make sure their passwords are changed and their locks are changed and all that. At this point in time, though, I would like to make a motion that once we hire the new CFO and tax assessor, that we change the locks on those doors.
Yes, that's a good idea. Second.
Yeah, roll call.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider? Oh, I'm sorry. Council President Chesley?
Yes.
Yes, and we need policies and procedures in many areas.
Another thing that I would like to bring up is that I do not agree with this at all. I don't know what the law is, so I'm not going to state that I know what the law. I do not think that council members should ever have keys to those statutorily controlled offices. I would like it, whether it's an executive at next meeting, to poll council to see who's ever had those keys, and I think those keys should also be changed, if it's for file cabinets or whatever, which we could maybe discuss at our next executive session. Also, in the beginning of the year, a policy was put together, was sent to us from the CFO saying that the mayor had this new policy on purchase orders, and we were assigned certain purchase orders that we have to sign. I don't know if this council ever completely put that into effect as a policy. We're having a lot of problems getting the checks out the door. There was a few checks that didn't get out the door. The school had to come back twice in the day. We need a better policy on these checks. They can't be locked up in the mayor's office and needing signatures and the purchase orders, and there was just a whole runaround. And again, we had another instance where the gas cards didn't have any money because of these instances. I think going forward, we need a more lenient not more lenient policy, but a more fluid policy, because we can't have that going on. I can't,
Are you suggesting that this is the mayor's fault?
No, I'm suggesting that
Well, I hope
the
not.
flow
I
needs
really
to be
do.
a little better. If it is, I don't
That's
know
right,
whose
it
fault
should be, it should be a lot better.
The checks can't be,
I
they
get,
have
I
to
get
go.
purchase orders that should have 2 signatures on them with no signatures. I'm not gonna sign them, I send them back. It takes time. They have to be processed properly. I don't let anything out of here unless it's processed properly. That's why this check's here. I wouldn't sign it before the
problem
the
was
checks are
that-
approved, like some people want me to do.
The
So
problem-
we're always gonna do it in a proper fashion.
The problem is that you are, according to your policy that you put in place, you were the one who should be signing the checks for the police and the fire. So I don't understand why that purchase order wasn't able to be processed. It's our primary business here is public safety. I'm just advising that going forward, you have a policy to deal with these issues so that our firemen and our policemen don't have to pay for gas out of their pocket.
I don't know, there's always been a problem since the gas company changed its name, and I believe they require a mid-month.
CFO.
What?
Listen,
What?
it has nothing to do with the change of name.
They were having trouble with Luke Oil and, no, what was the one? Speedco is its new name, or
Well, my
Speedco?
Speedway, my advice
Yeah.
to council next year is to find a way to make sure that doesn't happen. Also,
You need to have council meetings twice a month in order to do that, because some of these bills come in mid-month. And they're past due in 2 weeks. And so by the time we have the council meeting, they're past due. That's at least how I remember it explained to me when it was going on before. So
Somehow we got through it last year.
we did, we made an agreement that we could pay them if they were under $2,500.
I'm just saying the checks need to get out the door. Once we approve them, the checks need to get out the door as fast as possible.
Right, well, see all these checks?
Right, they need to get out the door.
They will get out the door as soon as we approve them, not before.
There's also, I don't know what happened, earlier in the year, I made a suggestion based upon some information that was sent to us by the auditors for a bond refunding program. It was sent over to the finance committee. I don't know what happened, but I think that's no longer valid. There is another one that we can go after. Unfortunately, it's $50,000 less in savings. I think it's just, again, whatever you want to do, but I think somebody needs to investigate this. The windows on these are not open very well, and it's about $150,000 worth of savings over the life of these bonds, which, every little penny helps.
It does, if there's truly that much savings. They
Okay.
often advertise it that way, but when you get down into it, and the fees that you have to pay, it's not as much.
Well, it needs to be investigated.
Okay.
So again, I don't know if you want to sign that somebody, if you're going to do it, or, like I said, the window's closed, the auditor's called again and said there's something out there, so. Are we going to do anything about it or no?
Who do you want to do something?
I don't know.
Lou, you want to do that?
I can look into it.
If you want to point that.
Well, I think, who normally does this? Donna, the finance committee. I'll talk to Donna.
It wasn't done the last time. The last one was over $200,000 and nothing happened, so.
How about Maureen?
I'll do it. I'll look into it and get back to you.
But now when we present it, let's present it in a professional fashion, way in advance of a meeting with all kinds of appropriate backup, so that people can make decisions, okay?
That's what we always do.
No.
So, as you may know, this is my second to last meeting. My last meeting is on 12:30. I'm sure you have all heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I never quite understood that saying until now. I came to be on council from the stirrings of a group committed to truly doing good in an effort to stop the asphalt plant. As time went on, this turned into something different, as I'm sure you're all aware by now. But here's the deal, because listen, I'm almost done, so I'm just going to talk to you bluntly. I came into this as a business person from day one. I was under the misassumption that there were wrongs to be righted. But regardless, I wasn't going to do anything without doing my own research and analysis. I was not going to vote no just for the sake of no or try to harass someone out of their job. This may have made me enemy number one with several people in this room, but I don't care. Every vote I made was to make this town better, keep it running. Peter, I'll have you removed.
Some respect.
Thank you. Or, as was very prevalent in this last year, to protect it. My record is solid and my conscience is clear. I'm a business-minded person through and through, but along the way I did learn a little something about being a politician. Like anything in life, it's about give and take and compromise. But most importantly, and what many forget, is that it is really all about the people you serve. If you can't leave your ego at the door, or if you aren't willing to look at both sides of the coin and do your homework, you shouldn't do this. Because it's essentially a thankless, stressful job that pays very, very little and consumes a lot of your life. That said, I have to admit I loved every minute of it. Even through the controversy and the constant badgering, there were many, many highlights. Even on my lowest of low days, when I sit at the four-way stop at Strikers in Bellevue, I think, hey, at least I made the town a little safer. However, on better days, I have many fond memories. My first year here, I think, exemplifies what government is truly about. We had Mayor Steinhardt, Council President Camperine. They were sitting in office, and they had been the target of many things at that point in time, having been here for many years at that point. Lou Belcaro had run against me. He won his seat, I won my seat. Maureen also ran with me. So you had people coming from all different areas. We came together, we treated each other with respect, and along the way we managed to get a lot done. I think that is how government is supposed to work. Today I was at a department meeting and a quote was presented by Joel A. Barker, who's an author. Vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. The first year I was on council, that's what we did. We had vision with action, and we made changes, and we came together, and that's what this township should be about. Going forward, to council going forward, you got to get your act together. You've been entrusted with the keys to the township, so do the job right. The feds are in Allentown and Reading, Pennsylvania now, and although they didn't have any reason to come here under the past administration, make sure they don't have a reason to come under the present. It's true, the town is a mess. You guys have to put politics, you have to put business before politics. Whether you like someone or not, if they present a good idea, go with it. Just like with the bond refunding thing, you have to go with it. Stop harassing people. Remember, very importantly, there are always two sides to every story. Don't just listen to one. In other words, do the job you're elected to do. But to end it on a high note, I have to thank many people. First of all, to the voters for giving me the pleasure to sit up here. It has definitely been a pleasure, and serving you is a memory I will always cherish. Secondly, and pretty importantly, is to my family for basically putting up with me, for not being around, making dinner, running out the door, coming home at 1 a.m., and many variety of other things. Couldn't have done it without you. To all the members of my committees, particularly Recreation and the LAA, people on these committees aren't just my fellow committee members. They have become friends. Some of you are in the audience right now, and there's others like Yvonne who helped with the 150th. Again, the LAA and the Recreation Committee, they come together. Again, these are all different people, and they get things done, and that's how it should be. To all the town employees, I think that by this point I've met all the police officers and everything here and there. They're all wonderful people. I think, again, I work with a lot of people. I don't like them all, but they're there for a reason, and they have talents. And if you can recognize in someone the talents that they bring, you can overcome whether you like them as a person or not. There are, of course, a few special ones I have to point out, and that would be Brian Weeks and Beth, who have definitely become friends of mine. And those two, along with Chief Marinelli, are keeping your town running. Additionally, to Maureen and to Lou, I'm sorry, and to former Mayor Steinhardt and former Council President Victor Camperine. Thank you for all your support and everything I put forward. Just keep up the good work. I'll miss having you here, but I'll be out there, so you just wave when I come in. Also to our professionals, every false servants, Katrina and everyone at their firms, our planners, everybody. We have really good people here. The auditors aren't here, but they're really very good auditors and again, very good people. I'll still be around, I'll be in the audience, and I'll still be an advocate for this town. So thank you all who come to these meetings. Thank you all who supported me, and see you on the other side.
We'll miss you.
Great.
Lori, I'd like to read this proclamation to you. Whereas Lori Chesla is a dedicated and exceptional public servant who has diligently provided outstanding service to the Township of Lopatcong as council president since elected into office in November 2012. And whereas Council President Chesla has served the community with distinction through her proactive work style, exemplary work ethics, and expertise that has been valuable resource to the many challenges Lopatcong has faced. And whereas Council President Chesla has earned the admiration and high regard of those whom she has come in contact and affection of the residents of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the council and citizens of the Township of Lopatcong, County of Warren, and State of New Jersey are immensely proud to recognize Council President Chesla for her leadership, vision, and integrity that have made this community a great place to live, and wish you continued success as you embark on new endeavors.
Thank you.
And also, I'd like to add a few more things. Lori, in 2012, we ran against each other, and we've been given the privilege to serve this town. Over 3 years, I got to know you. The hardworking person that you are, the warm-hearted person that you are. I know you're very emotional, to say the least, and that's okay. But you're a great asset to this township, to the board. I know you've done your best. You did what you can do. I appreciate that, and I know the township appreciates that. And because I've gotten to know you, I can honestly say that you are genuine.
Thank you. You too.
And you will be missed. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion on the proclamation.
Second.
Can do that, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's abstain.
Maureen.
Okay. I have a statement for you as well. I'll do my report first. All right, so report. LAA had a meeting about a week and a half ago. They're still moving forward with their issues, and it seems one of their directors who was against the 501c3 suddenly had a change of heart, and I guess realized the benefits of becoming a 501c3 and the potential for grants and donations, and he announced that he wanted to go off on his own 501c3. So that to me speaks volumes in the fact that there's good benefits to going off to a 501c3, and I don't think this town should hold them back. I think they should run as fast as they can and do the best they can for the kids in this township. So thank you, LAA, for all your hard work and putting up with everything, and I'm happy we were able to get over this speed bump so you all can move forward with your organization. Next, buildings and grounds. Just buildings, I guess the fire department, number 2, the heat went out, so that had to be repaired. Another bill for the budget, but as I understand, it's already been repaired, thanks to Brian Weeks. EDAC committee had a meeting last week. Not a whole lot of news other than we did agree to assist, the rec committee's doing an Eats and Beats in January. We assisted to help them in any way with that event. Additionally, we still have our lovely Shop Lopatcong cards that expire at the end of December. You know, they're in the office if you're interested. And even if you bought them today, you would still get your money back. There's 10% off on some locations in town, which you get your money back immediately. Lastly, let's see, not lastly, but the Veterans Flyer, I know we talked about it last week, but I just want to remind you all, it's out there. It's on our website. If you want to purchase an engraved paver brick to honor a current or a former service member, there's an order form on our website, and I believe they will also be getting a mailing out as soon as possible to all the residents in an effort to gather up donations. They're working on a beautiful addition to our park that they need funds for as well. So that's the vets. It's on our website. Also on our website, and this is on there, it's the homestead rebate, but it's for 2013.
Yeah.
So if you feel you've missed your 2013 homestead rebate filing, it's been extended to the end of this year, December 31st, 2015. The qualifications and all are on our website. The links are on our website. So, hey, file. You never know. You might get, obviously you have to qualify. Also, the breakfast. Lopatcong School District is going to be holding a senior community partnership holiday breakfast on Thursday. It's December 10th. It's Thursday, 9 a.m. in the middle school. And the flyer is, if you know a senior citizen living in Lopatcong Township, please pass along the invitation. So you're all invited, 9 a.m. Check out information on Facebook, on our website. You can call the school. It says they would like to have the people registered, I guess, so they know how much to provide. And they look forward to entertaining the senior citizens with student performances and some holiday cheer. And that doesn't mean booze. Okay. We talked about the rabies clinic. That's this Saturday. So it's that's a nice thing that the township offers, free rabies clinic. If you get that in there, then you'll be good on your license for all of next year. And now Lori, I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you. We did this, but a heartfelt thank you to Lori Chesla for all the work, effort, and energy that you have brought to your position on town council. Lori went the extra mile on every single issue and project that she worked on. She researched, she reached out, she spoke to residents, she answered their concerns, she tried to dispel rumors. She put tons of energy and work into our community day, into our budgeting process, into our rec committee. I don't want to list everything because I'm going to forget something, but also into her duties as town council president, just to name a few of the many things that she worked on, that she did put her heart and soul in. And as we all know, she's been the object of plenty verbal attacks. And you know what? She didn't respond in kind. We all know how Lori responded. She came back with the research. She came back with the who, the when, the what, the where. She came back with the facts, and she dispelled the rumors. And for that, I thank you, Lori, because that's hard work. She went out there and she said, no, this is wrong, and here's the correct reason. Here's the distinction. That's good for all of us, because we all need to know what's going on. And they talk about transparency. Well, this is the poster child right here. She looks it up and she'll tell you the real deal. So thank you, Lori, for your tireless work here for the Township of Lopatcong. I can honestly say that it has been a pleasure working with you, and I thank you so much for all your work. You are certainly welcome back, if you so choose, in any capacity, volunteer or otherwise in the future. And thanks again. We'll miss you. Okay. That's all.
Okay, it's my report, I guess. We have a couple little things here. There was a medical expense incurred by a person because of a an incident at the Township Municipal Building, and we're going to make a motion to pay that. It's $250. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Belcher?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Yes. Also, we've extended an offer for a provisional full-time chief financial officer. We don't know if the person will accept. We hope that they will. And they would probably start sometime in January. So that's a big step. We've been without one for quite a while. So we just thought we'd bring that up and we'll make a minute.
Motion.
Yeah, formally. All right. Second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcher?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Council President Chesler?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I actually have something to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
We have, the solar panels on all of, our buildings here in town, and we have earned 93 SRECs this year, and they've been in limbo for 12 months, not having been sold. So I was able to work with the 3 companies. We sold them $255 a piece, so we'll bring in around $24,000 some odd dollars.
That's great.
Nice.
What did we budget for?
We expected 15,000 in our revenue for our budget this year, so we did very well.
That's great.
Great.
Thank you for taking that
Thank
on.
you.
Some of that will go into capital because they need money to do the Veterans Park. They've been asking for some. All right, so let's.
Yes.
Mayor, to add on to the good news, the town received the payment from Aqua for the
Oh,
truck.
good.
Yes.
Although it was made out to LopatCong, I told
We'll
Beth
take
to
it.
put it in the account and if I could cash it. I didn't want you to have to wait for the process. There's no Township of Lopatcong.
That's paid for one of Brian's trucks. All
But
right.
that came in, it came to my office.
It came in fine, okay.
$25.
We also have to figure out when we're interviewing for the tax assessor. I don't think we established that.
Yeah,
I think Donna had asked if we could do it, the executive session of the 30th, so we
Yeah.
have to advertise
Okay.
to start early.
all right, so we'll advertise for that, okay.
And is it okay if Councilman-elect Pryor is at that meeting? Since he may be voting on that person
What?
if you don't decide that night.
Well, now, you forbid me to go to it.
No, you came to the last, no, you came to the last meeting.
But I'm not you, yes, you can come, Joe.
You came to the last meeting too, but
That's right.
whatever. Just-
Yeah, never mind. It was
all right.
last meeting.
Come, sir.
Are we done?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it has some,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
My liaison went home.
Okay.
So I would like to kind of represent my department. I guess some important things need to be said. The leaves are coming to an end. When we pass your home, that's it. We're going to sweep it. We're going to be done. We're working on it. When it's done, it's done. All right, because we've got to get ready for winter. It's coming whether we like it or not. I've got trucks that got to be worked on and prevented and different things. It's already, week into December here. We went around, got the bulk. All right, the piles were a mess. We know that. All right, but leaves have only been out for less than 20 days. You guys look at it as a 30-day month. I look at it as 15 days. All right, with all the holidays, we had off 4 of those days. You guys get weekends where you get out. I picked all the leaves up that are up in 15 days. All right, so all the people that have been beating us down, really take a good look at what you're beating. All right, I think we did a heck of a job. If you come back and you take a look, and you're welcome to, you get a size that's down there. It's probably 3/4 the size of this one building leaves. All right, so it's about moving the volume. It's not about whether there's a little bit left on the side that you're going to throw back in the old road anyway on the rest of your roads. So we thank you for your, patience there, and we thank you for everything. So the next thing on the step is Christmas trees. You can bring them down. We're going to come out in January, whenever you start putting them out. All right, so that's the next step there. The other thing is I got to address you, Lou. And Beth, you're aware of this. I don't know where you've taken it yet, but it's a real concern of mine. As far as I'm concerned, you're not done with your sewer. They put a gate. If you take a look at the gate, Dan Madden, which is our sewer guy, feels that it's okay. It's on the inside. okay?
It's a slide.
It's a sliding gate, runs, with it.
Right.
Well, it's on the inside, so when it snows, and we're talking in December is when the first snow, or in December, February, when it's supposed to
You
come.
won't be able to get inside.
I won't be able to get, once it freezes, I can't open a gate that I can't get into.
Okay.
His answer was, oh, well. My answer is, guess what? Do you want to spend $600,000 to worry about a flood of sewage? Fix the gate. Okay?
Get on the wrong side.
Take the money and fix the gate and let me do what I need to do. And be able to get in and fix the thing.
All right. I'll talk to Dan tomorrow.
All right? No, don't, if he doesn't do it, I'm going to take it somewhere because it's the best thing to do for the town. You know what I mean? It's to him, to him, it doesn't matter. To me, I got an opening this big to move ice out. It doesn't happen. So please take care
I
of it.
think that normally when you're entering an area, the gate is always on the inside. It slides back and forth for security purpose.
I understand.
But you make sense that when it does snow, you're not gonna be able to move it.
They're calling, and weather changes, but the thing is, nothing until February, and then February is supposed to be every storm between 12 and 18 inches.
Right.
Okay? And then March is supposed to be starting to dry up.
So hopefully
I start getting every 2 storms, I got 3 feet of snow sitting on something I can't get in, it freezes up, how do I move it?
hopefully they can, it's an easy fix. They just take it and put it on the outside.
Well, that was my opinion, and that's what I've been trying to push for, and I talked to Beth about it, she was gonna mention Dan Madden.
Okay.
But I've been pushed off, and I'm not accepting it. It's not right.
Can they
Get
put
it
up a
right.
second gate and leave the?
No, they can't. I gotta be able to
open?
move the gate. It's
Can't
on
be
the
able to-
inside. It's a slide gate. You got a fence. It's a slide gate, so it goes on the inside, follows the gate. So now I've got this gate plus this gate. So what have I got? A couple inches to get a thing in there and pry this whole gate fence. All right, so it's what do you figure it is? 10 feet? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get it out so I can get in there with a shovel and move this stuff away so the gate operates. All right. I don't want to find out that all of a sudden we get a phone call because all the pumps stopped. And the first thing I'm doing is spending an hour trying to get into them.
Hit me with a sledgehammer.
You know what I mean? It's,
All right.
I would appreciate it before winter hits that I don't care what you find it. It's not worth the fines from the DEP or everything else that we could acquire. So, all right. And thank you guys.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for all your work on the leaves. There's an awful lot.
All righty. Going for payment of bills.
Report of engineer.
Oh, my God.
Hi.
I have nothing to report, Mayor, tonight.
Can I ask you a
Very
question?
accommodating of you.
Sure.
With the Baltimore Road grant that we were not approved for, do we have any recourse to try again, or is it just for next year?
Apply again.
Apply again, okay. Thanks.
Alrighty. We don't have any more department reports. Then we go to payment of bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll approve the department reports that were given. Motion? Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we have the miserable checks here. The bills. Oh my God, I missed this thing. All right, they're presented a little different way this time, I guess, because we have a temporary CFO. I think I'm correct in saying that the total is 133,000. Doesn't seem right. I'm trying to add them in my head. Yeah, it's close, it's close.
33,310.
All right, so the total of bills is $133,310.81. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay?
Yes.
Council President Treffler?
Yes.
Yes. All right, now we go into audience participation, any matter at all. Open, motion to open it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any comments, ma'am?
Jennifer Lifer, 32 Jade Lane. Just actually a random thought. When Brian came up to mention the end of the process for the leaf pickup and some other things that come up, I had a thought the other day. You have that new coordinated health facility with that big flashing sign. Could we potentially get them to occasionally post something for us? Does any, maybe like, town council?
They already said they would.
Yeah, that would be, that would be great. And if you use that location in addition to the firehouse by the elementary school, and you announced, last leaf pickup this week,
Yep.
Brian might have less of a hard time with people feeling shocked by that when that day actually comes. Anyway, just maybe.
No, that's another step in our communication that I hope to see one of these days. Sir?
Ed Schuster, South 6th Street, Morris Park here. Most of my questions are going to be for you, Mr. Sturbridge. But first, Gloria, I'd like to say to you, thanks for your years of service, everything you've gone through, the stress and everything else. I think you did a great job as far as I'm concerned. And as you move forward, may everything be good for you. And I know you're going to have one hell of a lot less stress.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. As far as council in general, I'm really disappointed, disgusted, whatever you want to say, that everybody can't work together. I know what's going on, there's friction, but for us from here looking up there, it's really disappointing as to what we see. Now, Councilwoman Schneider, she left. I don't know whether she had to leave or there was so much aggravation she couldn't take it anymore. Okay, that's not a problem, I'd say, but if she just had to leave because she couldn't take it, that's bad. But I just wish council could get along a little better. But anyhow, Mr. Sturbridge, I know we discussed this a couple times. First thing is the stop sign at Dana in South 6th. I know you said the one problem with the Dana is not a through street, and I think you had to work through the state. Is that in the works? Because that's one of the places there's going to be an accident. People that know it, it's okay. People that don't come out Dana on the 6th, and with all the traffic coming out of the new development now, there's going to be an accident there. Is there anything that can be done with that situation?
The township could add to the ordinance, or excuse me, amend the ordinance to allow for a stop sign on Dana at that particular intersection.
I mean, I think it's a good idea because Dana doesn't have it and South 6 doesn't have it. That's a potential problem. The other one I know we discussed is First in Baltimore, and I know there's some issues with the state about traffic backing up to the highway and all that.
Oh, that ordinance was adopted, and in fact, it's already in the code book. But the ordinance was adopted with the proviso that the ordinance had to be approved by the Department of Transportation. And the reason for that is that particular intersection is within 300 feet of a state highway where it's signalized.
Right.
So we actually made several submissions, to the state in order to try to address this and get this through. And I'm anticipating that it's finally going to get approved. And then once that happens, then Brian can erect the signage at that intersection to make it a four-way intersection. But yeah. So we did our work here. We've been trying to get the state to do their work and approve this particular ordinance.
Yeah. I know you had to go through state. I just didn't hear anything lately. I just didn't know what was going on with that. The last thing
we had to do a traffic analysis
Right.
to show that the traffic would not queue from the four-way stop sign on First Street back to the traffic signal. So we've been able to demonstrate that.
But even if it would, couldn't they time the lights or set them on 22? That if traffic's on the highway, that 22 won't turn green? When they do that as
They can time it. Again, that issue is not an issue because the traffic would not queue back to the highway from the stop condition on South First Street.
for 30 years, I never saw it, so I think it's okay. Another question. Some time ago, I thought it was a $220,000 grant to fix some roads here in Morris Park. I don't know if that's true or not. But my one thing is, First Street was paved, Third Street was paved. 6th Street is not. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, I want 6th Street paved because I live there. No, because I don't come down 6th Street. I go through development, come down 1st or 3rd, which is all paved. 1st and 6th, I feel, should have been the priority streets because of development. Now, I know that coming out of 6th Street, you're not at 22, you can only go west. There's a lot of traffic there because they hit Baltimore and they go the back way to the malls, to Home Depot and ShopRite and everything else. I know Brian did a lot of paving on South 6th. There's probably more patches on there than what there's road at this point. But why wasn't that a priority? I mean, why was 3rd Street ahead of 6th? Now, I know 3rd Street, you can also hit the highway and go east or west, but 1st and 6th are the two that come out of development. And I can tell you, living right up there in 6th, it's a hell of a lot of traffic coming out of there now. And you know, so do you have any, I mean, was there any?
Well, the history of the township's road program is such that the township did a tremendous amount of road work over a 6 or 7 year period, which got us into the Morris Park area probably about 5 years ago. And we've done some work in the Morris Park area, but I think the township would have liked to have done some more. The economy has really affected the township's ability to go through that particular neighborhood in a quicker fashion. The work that we have done has been the result of DOT funding. We had DOT funding on Breakaway Avenue, Edward Street, South 3rd Street, and South 1st Street. These are all collector-type streets, or in the case of South 3rd Street, you have a church and a municipal building, which the DOT likes and scores very well and allowed the township to get that funding. We actually have a grant for South 2nd Street between South 1st and South 3rd, and we've already surveyed the street. And the goal for council next year is to get the rest of the funding in place so it can be designed and put out to do those improvements. So I think just the long and short of it is I think the township had hoped, as it did in some of the other neighborhoods, to improve the neighborhood more quickly. The economy has definitely been a factor, but it hasn't forgotten the rest of the streets, and it knows it has to get into the 4th, the 5th, and 6th, like which is your street, and improve those roadways. So hopefully, we can do that in the next 3 years.
I mean, I don't know if the state dictates what streets you have to do. I know there's a problem with Municipal Lane, the money you wanted to use had to do what the state wanted. My thing is just, if you have anything to say or any option, 6th Street, not because I live there because I don't use it, but because it's a through street. Coming from development, there's so much more traffic. 1st and 6th are the two heaviest traveled streets in Morris Park at this point. So that's just, if something can be done, I think it'd be a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, the DOT doesn't tell us what to apply for grant monies on, but they do have criteria. And, we're not going to file a grant application for Brownie Court because it's a cul-de-sac street and there's very little traffic on it. There's no public facilities on it. It's going to score very poorly and it's going to be a waste of the township's money. So we typically want higher use streets, ones that have a lot of visibility, particularly ones that have public facilities on them, or other type of facilities such as schools, churches, things of the like.
Okay.
Hospitals.
Just curious. Thank you. Lori, thanks for everything.
Thank you. Quick, Brian. I could have got this done by 9.
No, I just wanted to say something to Lori a little bit. I've worked with you for 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever it's been. It's been great working with you. One word of encouragement is when I was squad captain, I ran it for 5 years. All right. And when I left, they called me up, would you like to run? And I said, no. It was like I lost, 20 pounds, which I wish I could do that quick, off my shoulders. The stress will get you. It'll half kill you. All right. So the other thing that'll get you is when you sit home and you're looking at it going, I wish I was at the meeting. All right. But go enjoy life.
Thank you.
Do what you think is best for you and your family, and always be friends.
Thank you. Yes, Bart.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Beth. Olszewski, Highlands Way. Very quickly, Tom, since Lori is departing, you guys have precautions who's handling our social media and website from the 1st of the year on?
Lori never let me near that, so I really don't know. So
I mean, there must be somebody else trained to handle that?
Prior to this,
I
it
have
wasn't
had
a
the codes.
council member. I can continue to do it if they want to do it, and also continue to do it free of charge if they want me to.
I thought we're not wanting to have volunteers taking over these.
I think you don't want volunteers taking over.
No, yeah, but should there be a town employee being able to handle our social media and our website?
There are some platforms if we improve
There
the
should be,
platform where
yes.
they can do more, and I can certainly train them. But like I said, I don't mind helping them.
So time is coming, and
I think we have to do a lot to improve what we have. You know that.
okay.
You need the budget for it, like I mentioned in my report.
We do need the budget
Mhm.
unless it's donated. And, Yeah, we have to work on that. I think that's something that'll come up at the
I
beginning.
mean, you guys have like, what, 30 days?
Yeah.
Hurry up.
All right.
I can still
I just
keep
want to be
out,
certain
yeah.
you passed codes on so that they won't just freeze.
That wasn't part of my council duties. I actually handed in my resume and the township allowed me to do it. Prior to this, you had another member of the township who did it. He was not a council member. I can continue to do it until you find somebody that you want to pay or whatever. I don't want. It's up to the council, so.
All right, I just want to make sure there's a transition.
There doesn't need to, when you have somebody to transition to, then you can, if you choose to transition or if I choose not to do it.
Now, with that said, if the volunteer is able to do this or wanting to do this, right, would you then be open to have
The council
a
has to,
volunteer?
the council has to do
In
it.
case you are sick, ill,
The council has to decide that.
I mean, there must be more than one person being able to handle this.
There is, our web person can also do it. Our computer person can also do it if needed, but who's going to charge you?
Oh, Mr. Vocia, you mean?
Mr. Baccia, yes.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more people involved in that. I think it's been a very tight hold and it was used for propaganda purposes, and I'd like to see. it
Tom,
used-
you know what, Tom? Enough. It's not used for propaganda. Everything gets approved by the clerk. All right?
I can't put anything on there.
You can send an email to Beth, she'll approve it, it comes to me, and it goes on. Just as you would if Peter's doing it,
Okay.
or if...
Oh, Mr. Mangucci.
Thank you, Mayor Jim Mangucci, 801 Belvedere Road. I'm here simply tonight to say goodbye to my friend Lori. You've done an outstanding job up here. Facts and figures is all you've brought, not to mention your integrity. You mentioned early on that the so-called RLL put you in here. That's not why I voted for Lori Chesler. I've known Lori Chesler a long time, and I knew you were a woman of integrity. You, your husband Jim, your son Nick, and my son Nick ran the same circles. Even right through the beginning of college. So you've been a class act.
Thank you.
You walk out of here tonight with your head held high. Be very proud, and you can join me in the back row next month.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you. Thank you for all your service, too, Jim.
Sir?
Hi, my name's Sean. I live on Cal Drive in Lopatcong here. I want to thank the Mr. Fryer?
Yes,
The elect and the council members for attending the LA meeting. You know, the invitation was open at a time in which we're trying to create a new partnership. You know, I'm just a softball guy. I direct softball. I'm responsible for 46 girls. I'm more of a football guy, but right now, but I as a resident of this town, I had the opportunity to take a promotion and go to Austin, Texas. The reason why I didn't go was because I love this town, and it is so upsetting to see this happening. It's got to change, you know. And I don't know. I'm not a political guy, nor do I want to be. Nor do I care to be. It's got to change. I manage 150 people. If I had people talking to one another this way, they would all be fired. And we just can't do this. And I respect your position, Mayor. You said that you didn't know anything about us breaking away at the last, this is only my second meeting here.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know about it. And I'm like, okay, that's shocking. All right, whatever. So at our last LA meeting, council members showed up and you didn't. And for someone to vote no, which I respect your vote, I think when we have opposing views, it makes it either galvanizes your decision or you question your decision. You can always change your mind. And when the no's didn't show up, I wasn't able to really evaluate what we're doing because there's no opposition. The people that voted yes showed up, which I respect. And I think that was nice. I mean, Brian from the Department of Public Works game, he has some skin in the game because those are his fields, and he has questions. And the dynamic of what happened was there were questions and conversation and dialogue, but the person that voted no wasn't there. And to me, that was kind of shocking. As a resident, I'm like, wow, here's a guy who voted no with great reason. I'm not questioning your vote. I'm just wondering why the no wasn't there. And to me, that was kind of disappointing. Because I want to know why you say no, because that might help me in this process.
I told you I said no. I didn't think the ordinance was professionally written enough. I didn't think that we should be giving money to the LAA if we're not allowed to do that. And I didn't think that we should be silent as to the need for a contract going down the road. Other than that, I approved it.
Sure, but your voice went silent at this meeting where we could have more dialogue.
I said those things at this meeting.
No, he means at his
At the LAA meeting. It's open to the public. And so when I started seeing Mr. Picaro, who the only person I know is Laura, and I met her, no disrespect, Maureen. I've known Lori for, less than half a year. I've only been on softball for a year, and I'm learning a lot. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning, and I'm trying to do the best I can. So, is that all right? 'Cause I really don't know what I'm doing. But when I saw Mr. Picaro walking in, I was like, oh, sweet. Now the council's coming, and not everyone came. And to me, I want this to be a partnership. I don't want this to be an adversarial relationship moving forward. I want to put out the olive branch and say, hey, let's work together. And that's what government should do. And that's what the residents of this town desperately need. And my plea is, please come to the meetings. Whether we're a 501(c) or not, we could be the shade committee or
shade tree.
Shade tree. There's involvement, and that's what brings us together, not what should divide us. So I'm here just as a softball dude, not the LA president or anything. Please come to our meetings because we're part of this town.
This is the first time we've been invited, so thank you.
No, he
We invited you last month.
Yeah, they invited you.
We did. That's why these people showed up.
It's a public meeting.
And it's a public meeting, and whether I'm inviting you right now. Please come to the next meeting. I would love to have you there.
When is the next meeting? I don't know.
December 15th.
15th. Come, because your leadership and experience is needed. We want that. That's all I'd say. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just a dude saying, hey, this is how I feel, and please come out. Let's make this a partnership and not an adversarial relationship. That's my concern moving forward, because if our relationship with Lopatcong is going to be like what's going on here, that scares the crap out of me, quite honestly. It makes me not want to do softball anymore. And I don't want. And I'm a committed coach. No offense, I'm a damn good coach, and I don't want to walk away. And I'll say that right here.
I want you to walk away, and we know the program's important. We just want it to
so
be
let's
done
work
properly
together.
as far as paperwork. That's all.
Let's do this. Please, just come to the next meeting. I beg you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean.
My name is Matt Herzer, 8 Overlook Drive. First I want to say is thank you for appointing me for the Shade Tree Commission. I really look forward to serving. This is just a suggestion I just want to throw out there. I know that you're going to have some tech expenses coming up. I was wondering if possibly you could reach out to the school district and maybe use their services and do like a shared agreement, which might help save money for the town and the school. So
They've actually reached out to us about the same thing last meeting. Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that there.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Very
thank
good.
you.
Well, anyone else out there have something to say? Okay. Then I call this meeting. What do I have to do? Call the meeting to the end of the motion? First I got to come out of public meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Come out of public meeting.
Motion to come out of public comment.
Need audience participation, yeah. Second?
Second.
Then all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.